At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too. Because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Good morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Mike Krueger looking at a live shot coming out of Redding, out at the Turtle Bay Exploration Park area. You can see the Sundial Bridge there. And, you know, if I'm not mistaken, this may be a new camera. It seemed like it was down for a couple of months, so they were maybe upgrading to a new camera. Just a crystal clear, beautiful HD picture that you can see right there. And doesn't look like anybody's out there exercising or enjoying this beautiful, beautiful start to the day. Someone, I mean, you would think someone would pop up here. Doesn't look like that's the case, though. Good morning, everyone. How you doing out there this morning? It is Thursday, May 22nd, and it's just going to be a beautiful day. You know, we did get pretty warm in the low 90s for many cases here for the valley yesterday. Today, temperatures will be in the mid 80s. Yeah, we're seeing a drop in our temperatures here, and we'll probably even in some cases see a slight drop by just a couple of degrees here even for tomorrow. So some very pleasant weather in store for us as we get really in getting close to the last week of May, when we typically see temperatures in the 90s and triple digits. We have yet to see 100 degrees, folks. We have yet to see 100 degrees, but stick around because we're going to talk about when we could see that happen. I'm seeing it in the long range, and it may happen before the end of the month. That's what they call a little teaser in the business. But there you go. We got James and Mandy Chapel saying, have a great day. You too, James and Mandy Chapel. What do you say we get ourselves over to, well, oh, there's somebody. There's somebody right. Oh, here. Let's do this. Let's go back to this. There's all right. There are some people enjoying the beautiful biker and a walker. There you go. I wish I was out there right now. It'd be cool if I lived really close to that. I could just do my live right out in these beautiful temperatures and just gorgeous. Although when it's raining and cold, probably don't want to be out there. But yeah, very nice. Very nice day to go out and take a walk. All right. Oh, I know why. Let's go back to this again. I'm one man banding it, folks. You know that. And sometimes I just get a little overwhelmed. I push buttons and I'm trying to figure things out. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay. All right. So now, oh, there we go. It needs to reconnect. There we go. There we go. Boom. All right. One more button press. What? I can get to the forecast now? All right. Here you go. Okay. So here is a look at Krueger's Quickcast for your Thursday, May 22nd. Man, was that a process getting to that. Okay, let's get you out the door this morning, and we are going to be looking at a beautiful day across the board. I think there'll be some clouds and some fog for parts of the coast here, but overall, mainly sunny skies for most of Northern California this morning. We've got mid-60s in the valley. We've got upper 40s to low 50s this morning at 8 o'clock for many of the higher elevations. So a cool start, but not terribly cold. Right now, we're sitting at 43 for Alturas, 43, 49 degrees in Susanville, 64 in Redding, 62 degrees for Oroville, and we've got those upper 50s right now, so upper 40s, upper 40s for the coast. So look at the rain. You got rain and clouds over the Pacific Northwest. That rain is trying to move in, but it's too far to the north. So we've got the first in two areas of low pressure, troughs of low pressure that are moving in. The first one's moving in as we speak. That's why temperatures will be cooler today. The second one's going to be moving in behind that, and that's going to keep our temperatures about the same. There could even be a better chance for some scattered showers to some of the higher elevations tomorrow, though, not today. The wind's fairly calm. Start. You know, this is a nice break, folks, because it's been so gusty out there at times. You can see here this morning, they start to pick up a little bit here by the afternoon, especially for the north end of the valley, maybe around 15, 20 miles per hour. Now keep in mind, when we're talking about a gust of wind isn't something that just lasts. You're not going to be looking at 23 miles an hour for, several minutes to an hour. No, those are called sustained winds where they last longer. Forecast wind gusts last for short bursts where you feel a gust and then it's gone. Right? But those gusts, especially during fire danger and fire, when there's a fire, those gusts can help fuel a fire. That's all it takes to really just make a fire explode even higher. So those are the things we've been concerned about when we see these gusts kind of pick up in the afternoon. And we're seeing that here for today. But again, not as bad as it has been. Look at this. By tomorrow morning, the winds are certainly going to be calm again. And we've been looking at some gusty winds at times in the morning hours, even for the north end of the valley. 8 o'clock this morning, that is, here for the valley, you can see 25, 30, 35% range with the humidity. So we're seeing some decent recovery. As we take you into the afternoon, though, we're into the teens. But it's not as dry as it has been over the last several days. You know, when we started off the week, we were down to the single digits with the humidity levels. Not the case yesterday, not the case today. You can see as we go into today and tomorrow, still in those mid-teens. That's dry. That is still dry, don't get me wrong. But that's better than 6, 7, 8%, right? So for today, we got mid-80s. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful spring weather. Temperatures in the 70s for most of the higher elevations, some upper 60s in some areas, like 8 and about 68, 10 and 69, as well as Tule Lake. For the coast, you're looking at temperatures upper 50s to around 60. Tonight should be a mild night, mid-50s for the valley. In the mountains, mostly steering clear of the 30s, mainly in the 40s, and mid-40s for the coast. So let's take a quick look at your 7-day outlook for each region. For the valley, there's the dip in the temperatures today and tomorrow, mid-80s. We're back up to about 90, give or take, for the weekend. Not terribly hot, though. I mean, 90 is not bad, you know, especially with what we're used to around here. But look at this. For Memorial Day on Monday, you're down to the mid-80s again before we climb back up for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. The coast, temperatures hovering around 60 through the weekend, maybe some low to even mid-60s by next week. Inland and for Trinity County, same trend with those temperatures going up and down. I have included a slight chance for a sprinkle or passing shower for Siskiyou, Modoc County in the eastern mountains. Few and far between, don't expect much. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies. Same with the temperature trend going up and down as we go through the middle of next week. Taking a look at Lake Oroville, you can see a beautiful shot there as the sun is a-rising this morning. Nice little pull in the center of the shot there. There's Lake Oroville, North Forebay. Yeah, the calm winds. That streamer barely kind of flapping a little bit. Little bit of a light breeze there, moving it around. Main Street Chico on Highway 32 looks pretty good there. We take you out to Highway 99 at Neal Road. Some traffic, but typical, nothing unusual for this time of the day. We take you out to Highway 44 at Sundial Bridge Drive. Sunny skies here as well. And how does it look on the coast in Crescent City? Well, looks gorgeous. Yeah, we've got some clouds out there this morning, but no rain. That's good. Where's George? Where's our friend George, the seagull? Sometimes George makes a little visit with us. Take a look at what it looks like right now in Elk Country, just north of Trinidad. We got some low clouds lingering, but I think a lot of those clouds are going to burn off here later on today, so that should make for a little bit more of a pleasant day for you along the coast here. Well, today is, what's today? Today's Thursday. Today's Thursday. We got a NorCal Ag Report. Jerry Lennon went down to Butte County, and he's learning more about this really great farm in Butte County. So we're going to learn more about it right now. Let's get you right into it.
Hi there, I'm Jerry O'Lennon for Weather NorCal, and this is the Ag Report sponsored by Lassen Canyon Nursery. Today I am in Chico on West Sacramento Avenue at the Grubb CSA Farm. I am with Lee Callender. He owns the farm. And first of all, Lee, thank you for being with us.
Hello there, good afternoon.
So first of all, for those of us not in the know, what is a CSA farm? What does that stand for?
Okay, it stands for Community Supported Agriculture. It's a term that was coined in Japan, I believe, in the 80s and 1980s or so. And it's a way for folks to connect with their vegetable farm, get a box of vegetables each week.
What is it that Grubb does? What kind of crops do you grow and sell?
Okay, we grow a little bit of everything. To do a vegetable box each week and keep things interesting, we grow probably over 40 or 50 different types of vegetables. And then within that, then we've got probably about 150 varieties total that we grow. And so behind us over here, we have tomatoes, we have garlic, potatoes. Right now we're harvesting asparagus, a whole array of herbs, greens, carrots and beets and radishes and turnips are starting to come in pretty quick.
Are these type of farms becoming more popular as opposed to just getting it at the grocery store? And if so, why?
I think that people want to get the freshest, healthiest vegetables out there. Small farms, it's a small business, it's a local community. That's good for our communities, economics.
How long have you been around?
This is year 18, I believe, farming.
How many regular customers do you have?
Right now I think we're about 85 boxes per week, and then we also do a couple of farmers markets and a couple of bigger wholesale accounts.
Now there's one day a week, I guess, where people come in, your 80 or so customers come in and they pick up the box of vegetables. Do they choose which they want ahead of time and then you provide it? Is that how it works?
So we harvest, depending upon the week. We harvest what's right, what's ready, and then people do pick out their own box. So we select the vegetables and do the harvest, and then they pick out and weigh out their stuff.
For somebody who's interested, what day of the week do they come in and pick it up?
Wednesdays from 4 to 6.
Wednesdays from 4 to 6 in the late afternoon.
Yep.
And it's over on West Sacramento and Dairy Roads.
Yep, that's right.
It sounds like a wonderful business. Sounds like you're doing great.
We enjoy what we do.
Thank you so much. I sure enjoy learning something about your farm.
Awesome. Thank you, Jerry.
Once again, I want to thank Lassen County Nursery for their support of the NorCal Ag Report. They have been the sponsors of the NorCal Ag Report since it began. So I want to thank Kenny Elwood from Lassen County Nursery for his support, not only of the NorCal Ag Report, but of Weather NorCal in general. We also have other great sponsors as we kind of segue into the main report, the deep dive forecast, and another one of our sponsors, Wind River Resort and Casino. That's made possible. Coffee with Krueger, the main sponsor of Coffee with Krueger. I want to thank Wind River for their support. At Wind River Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. Taking a look at those current conditions out there right now, we are generally, we'll call it averaging out in the mid-60s, even some low 60s like Corning at about 62 degrees. There you can see we do have 43 degrees for Alturas, 49 for Crescent City, and 46 degrees in Eureka. So here's a look at your headlines. A nice little drop in our temperatures today. We got in the low 90s yesterday. How about mid-80s for today and tomorrow for the valley, and obviously cooler in the mountains. No big changes going well into next week. Yes, we are seeing some clouds developing in the mountains, and yes, there may be a slight chance for a sprinkle or a light shower tomorrow for some of the mountains, but overall it's staying fairly dry. Possible triple digits though. You know, we haven't seen 100 degrees yet. We've been in the 90s, but it's been pretty pleasant so far as we kind of inch closer to summer. A lot of times in May, that's when we typically hit 100 degrees for the first time. We have yet to do that, although that could change later next week. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about that in a little bit more detail in a second. But the reason for the cooler weather today is this right here. The clouds, the rain over the Pacific Northwest, that is a trough of low pressure. Cooler air tends to cool down with these troughs of low pressure, and as a result, what happens? Yeah, our temperatures drop. So this one's moving in. There's another one behind that right here. You see that? That's what's moving eastward, and we'll keep our temperatures about the same for tomorrow. Now, I want to start with the winds because the winds are something I've been kind of really stressing and talking about this week. You know, you think about it was last weekend, right, where we saw the red flag warning. It went into Monday morning and went into Monday of this week as well. It was allowed to expire early, actually. I think it was around 5, 6 o'clock in the evening on Monday that it expired. But the winds have been gusty at times over the last, really, since this whole week so far. Now, it hasn't been windy all day long. You've been looking at just these little gusts that come through every once in a while. And I think we could see that again here for today, just not as bad as it has been. We're seeing a downward trend with these winds, which is great news. Midday, not bad in the valley. Look at that, right? Then we go to the afternoon. All right, they're beginning to pick up a little bit out towards the north. Now, Now, keep in mind when you're looking at this, these are not sustained winds. These are not winds that are blowing at 20, 25 miles an hour for a long period of time. These are just these short bursts, these short gusts that we see that can create some of that elevated fire weather risk. And you can see off to the east here too, a little bit gusty as well. By tomorrow morning, those winds die down. Tomorrow afternoon, look at that, 10, 15 miles per hour. That's where, we want to be lower than that. We want to be below 10 miles per hour. We want to keep those winds calm. But, that's not bad. Not bad at all, especially with what we've been dealing with here. And look at Saturday morning, calm winds to start off the day. And by the afternoon, all right, maybe picking up a little bit here, 15 miles per hour on average. But notice where the winds are coming from on Saturday. South winds. Now, a lot of times you hear, oh yeah, it's not going to be as dry with the south wind. And that is the case, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be dry. Okay. So instead of single digits in those humidity levels, you're probably more like the mid-teens. It's still dry, but at least we're not looking at 20, 25, 30 mile an hour gusts, right? So here's the humidity. This is the humidity here. You can see kind of the brown colors is dry, the green is humid. We want to keep it in the green, but obviously this time of the year, that's very hard to do. So we take you to this afternoon, low to mid-teens, nothing unusual, but it's not as dry as it was earlier this week. Okay, tomorrow morning, we see some recovery. When I say recovery, typically at night, we can hold more moisture because it's cooler, and as a result, we see the humidity levels go up. So that's good. We want to see that, but it dries out once those winds pick up, and it just heats up, and you can't hold as much moisture in the atmosphere. So it gets drier, but notice we're not in the single digits for the valley. How about Saturday morning? There's that recovery. Saturday afternoon, all right, teens. So remember when I was saying, you even saw those 10 percentage points here the last few days. But with that south wind, yeah, you're more like 15% on average. Still dry, but we saw those winds are not terribly strong, okay? Now let's talk about the temperatures. The cooler temperatures too do help in reducing that fire weather risk. So instead of 95, which can elevate that fire weather risk, just the heat alone, when we drop it down to 85, that helps. That helps. So that's what we have for today. That's what we have for tomorrow, is that cooler air will be in place. Now by the weekend, you see this ridge of high pressure, not very strong, but it's a ridge of high pressure nonetheless. That's going to bring our temperatures back up over the weekend into the upper 80s, low 90s for the valley. But oh, look at this over here. Yeah, we've got some cooler air. Now that's going to ride to our north. It's not going to move directly over us, but it'll bring us back down to the mid 80s for your Memorial Day. Then after that, high pressure builds in, it gets warmer. So remember, I was saying the potential for some triple digit heat. Let's take a look at that. So mid 80s today, around 90 Saturday, Sunday, back down for Memorial Day. Looks good, right? I'll take it. Not a bad getting close to summer day, right? Now we're in the low 90s to start off Tuesday, Wednesday. They tick back up to mid 90s by Thursday. 100 degrees. We could see it for the first time this year. Take a look at this. This is the first time, historically, we've seen 90 degrees or higher. Now, the first time we saw it this year in Reading was May 1st. All right, so the first time we saw it was earlier this month, 90 degrees, not 100. All right, the earliest we've seen, historically speaking, for Reading was May 4th, 1992, where we saw 100 degrees, even, right there, May 4th. June 5th is the earliest, 1926, where we saw 110 degrees or higher. I don't think we're anywhere near that just yet. But yeah, we're past due, at least for the record. We're not going to beat the record for sure, and we don't want to beat that record, right? But yes, by the end of next week, end of the month essentially, we've got that triple digit heat possibly making its way here. Look at the lake levels are looking pretty good out there. As you can see here, we are at minus a half a foot there. No big surprises. We're seeing those minor rises and increases out towards Trinity and Lake Oroville. But Lake Oroville, Lake Oroville, potato, 99% capacity. There you can see those wave heights are fairly low today. They are increasing though as we go into tomorrow afternoon. No small craft advisories today, but we're going to be borderline here for tomorrow. North winds at 5 to 10 knots. Waves from the northwest at 5 feet at about 10 seconds. So for today, here's what we've got. Mid 70s for the Highway 299 corridor. Right, we're looking at about 77 degrees for Weaverville, 74 in Del Loma, 71 degrees for Burnt Ranch. Take us south of 299, where it's typically a little bit cooler, Temperatures mainly in the 60s there, although Hayfork about 76. We're dry for the next 7 days. Take you out to southern Humboldt County. You can see about 70 degrees for Miranda, 72 degrees for Garberville, 61 degrees in Shelter Cove, 61 for both Ferndale and Fortuna, Hydesville. Looking at partly cloudy skies today. Temperature is 62 and 61 degrees in Rio Del. Up north, 62 in Trinidad, 63 for Blue Lake, Hoopa, about 73 and 76 degrees in Willow Creek. 61 for Gasquet, 10 degrees warmer out in Orleans with a high of 71, 63 degrees for Smith River and Oric, about 70. Siskiyou County, Highway 96, mid to upper 70s, even for I-5 corridor there. Look at the chance. Yeah, we got a chance for a sprinkle, a light shower. Few and far between tomorrow, so don't count on much, if anything. But I'm got to include that chance in there. Better chances. And the thing is, on either side of that, Thursday or even Saturday, yeah, maybe a passing sprinkle. But overall, the best chances will be tomorrow, and even that is few and far between. A take out to central eastern Siskiyou County, 74 degrees for Mount Shasta, 76 degrees in Dunsmuir. And for Modoc County, 69 degrees in Newell, 71 for Alturas, and 68 degrees for Aden. Take you south for the eastern mountains. Bernie, I've got you dry for the next 7 days. But I am including that chance for maybe a stray sprinkle, a light shower for east of that in the eastern mountains. And again, it's going to be few and far between. Either side of that, really more like Saturday, there could be a chance for a passing sprinkle as well. But the better chances will be on Friday. And as I mentioned, even that will be few and far between. We take you out towards Paradise and Susanville. You got that chance there for Susanville, but not for Paradise. It's 69 degrees for Greenville. Look for a high of 75 for Susanville and Paradise, and 74 degrees in Doyle. Your Valley neighborhood forecast, look at that, mid-80s, very nice for this time of the year. A little bit cooler out towards Paskenta at about 82, 83 degrees in Elk Creek. Here's your Chico 7-day forecast. Looks like in the upper 80s for Saturday, Sunday. Slight drop in the temperatures for Memorial Day, back up to about 90 for Tuesday and Wednesday. 85 for Redding and Anderson, 84 for Cottonwood and Palisadro, 78 for Whiskeytown, and looks like Lakehead. A high of about 78 degrees. There's your 7-day forecast for Redding. Mid-80s for your Thursday, Friday, around 90 for the weekend. And looks like about 85 degrees for your Memorial Day. Dry. Temperatures warming up. Now, again, we talked about the potential for 100 degrees here late next week, but not until, say, around Friday. So we still have more of what we've been dealing with here, at least for the next 7 days, if not a little bit longer. Well, what do you think? Not bad, right? Not bad at all for May. And, yes, you knew it was going to happen, right? It's inevitable. It's only a matter of time before the triple digits return as we get closer and closer to summer. It's just one of those realities we've got to deal with here. Curtis Brown checked in too this morning saying, good morning, Mike and everyone. Another beautiful day. It is absolutely another beautiful day. And here's another prime example of that beautiful day. Oh, Lisa's saying, got here late, camping this weekend in Hat Creek. Weather to be awesome? Yes, it is. Hat Creek, I don't think you're going to see any showers. You'll see the clouds. It may look a little ominous at times over the next few days, Lisa, but you may see a passing sprinkle, maybe a light shower, especially tomorrow. But even those chances are pretty slim. So I just want to let you know on that, Lisa. But yes, there's a look at that beautiful day looking at Lake Oroville this morning. Looks very pleasant. Looks very nice. I'll take it. Very nice indeed. All right. Oh, birds swooping around as well. That's going to do it for us this morning. Have yourselves a great Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow morning for your Friday edition. Yes, finally Friday edition of Coffee with Krueger at 6:30 tomorrow morning. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.